Tom Reed here with Dominique winning of Cage Warriors, who's coming off an amazing knockout victory over Cameron Hardy at Cage Warriors 124. First of all, Dom, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I know it was such a short fight and a pretty good performance, but is there anything you took away from that fight, considering even though it was so short, but you did perform really well?
To be honest, the fight was so. Do you know what? The fight lasted 1 minute and 9 seconds, but to be honest, in there it felt like 30 seconds. To be honest, no, I don't think I couldn't really have took much from that. To be honest, obviously, performance was dominant as everyone saw. Do you know what I mean? So, like that's the way it went. That's how I expected it to go. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, so you were confident coming into it that you were going to get a first round knockout, really, like nice and easy.
Yeah, I said to myself I was gonna finish him. But honestly speaking, I didn't think I would have got him out like that quick. Do you know what I mean? I thought maybe it would have been like midway through the first round, going into like the ending of the first round kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But my shots are different.
Yeah, you do. What's it? So it's 7 wins now, all by KO, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% finish rate. Yeah.
Is there anything you put that down to? Do you just think it's like genetics, like it's just the way you are, or is there anything you train specifically to be like that powerful? Like
you said it
they
yourself.
They are lethal knockouts.
You said it yourself. Genetics, and obviously through training as well, but genetics as well, I believe. Hence why I said I hit different compared to these other bantamweights. You know what I mean? Like, you see, most of my finishes are literally statements. Like you see like finishes here and there in MMA and stuff like that. And obviously it's like there's nice finishes and whatnot. But every time I finish a fight, the way I finish fights, I literally make statements with those finishes. Do you know what I mean? So it just goes to show I hit a lot differently compared to these other bantamweights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of your knockouts are like, they're not like TKOs or anything like that. They are like really quite spectacular ones. And what's it like for you having like viral KOs like that? Like this most recent one was amazing. It was all over Instagram, all over Twitter. What's that like for you having a KO like that?
Normal.
No, yeah. 7 times now, isn't it?
Look, honestly, I'm not even lying to you. Normal, because really and truly, I've had knockouts similar to that, and they've gone viral. Do you know what I mean? When I made my Bellator debut, I had a viral KO that went. I think that was doing way more numbers than what this last one was doing. Honestly speaking, because obviously Bellator's got a larger following, so obviously that was doing more rounds than this last one. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, all my finishes are statements, and a lot of my finishes will go viral like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Within the right platform. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. And like Cage Warriors is like, it's for Europe, it is a very large platform. How did you find it fighting for Cage Warriors for the first time? Like, did you enjoy the promotion? Did you like the way it was organized and all that?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Like, obviously I fought on bigger stages. Obviously Bellator, I fought on ACB at the time. Obviously big international shows. So obviously it was just like going into Cage Warriors, just felt normal to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just felt normal to me. Like, it just felt like it kind of felt like when I used to fight for Bama before I got into like the bigger shows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously with Cage Warriors, they got the connection with UFC. So obviously now I'm questioned to get into the UFC now. Do you know what I mean? So obviously being with Cage Warriors is the right show to be with in order for me to get up to that to get UFC contract. Do you know what I mean? So obviously with me performing the way how I performed, if I continue performing like that in my next coming fights, then it won't be too long until you see me with that belt, and it won't be too long until you see me getting signed to the UFC. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of that, moving towards the Cage Warriors belt, who do you think would be like the next natural progressive step in Cage Warriors to get you to the title shot?
Well, to be honest, what makes sense to me is fighting Liam Gittins. He fought my teammate the day before, within that trilogy, and he beat my teammate. So it's only right I fight him next and avenge that loss of my teammate. And obviously, to me, it makes sense to get him next. I even spoke to Ian Dean after the fight. I told him after my finish, I said, give me Liam Gittins next. And he seemed quite intrigued, do you know what I mean? So it makes sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, with me performing like that, it's gonna be hard for like K-Draws to like kind of hold me back to getting into title contention, because like really and truly, I'm like one of the most experienced guys, if not the most experienced guy within the bantamweight division. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm up there. Do you know what I mean? So there's not much for me to gain, I could say, from fighting these other guys that are behind me, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, with my type of stature, it ain't gonna be too long till I get up to that title. Do you know what I mean? I can even fight for the title next. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, by the way it looks like Nathan Fletcher's gonna get the title shot. But I don't know who they're gonna put him up against, because I'm hearing Jack Cartwright's not within his K-Draws contract anymore. So obviously, I think he may be waiting to get the call up for UFC London in September. So I see Nathan Fletcher in line for the title next, but I don't know against who. But for me, next, what makes sense for me is fighting Liam Gittins and then get through him. So that'll be number 2. Get through him, and then with me having a performance like the way I had in my first one, it'll be hard to deny me a title shot. Do you know what I mean? Like I've said previously, like to people and my teammates and people around me in previous interviews, I don't think I'm going to be in K-Draws for too long. With me performing the way I'm performing and how my demeanor is towards coming back from these the last 2 losses.
Yeah.
The way I feel and the way I'm moving and the way I feel how things are gonna go, I ain't gonna be with K-Draws for too long. Do you know what I mean? And especially with after that first performance, a lot of the bantamweights are trembling, and that's facts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like guys, like the other day, I literally put a tweet out. I even put a tweet out, a post up on Instagram calling out Liam Gittins and Nathan Fletcher. I didn't hear nothing from him. Literally about 10 minutes ago, I put another post up calling out Liam Gittins. So let's see if he responds to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these guys, they don't want to fight me. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, they're not going to come out and say they don't want to fight me, but I know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I was so surprised actually when I saw you be on the undercard, considering like up for that fight you had six finish wins, fought Bellator, but after that performance, I think literally you could have that one fight against Gittins and it could be a title shot. But I think at the very most it'll be the 2 fights until you really get that shot.
Yeah, like even with like you're saying, like the way they placed me on the undercard, it did not make sense. I took offense. I highly took offense to that. Do you know what I mean? They really pissed me off. And with that, and obviously just like with me personally, I feel like I know I should be on a higher platform. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, getting dropped by Bellator and I kind of coming back down to like the domestic scene. Like, obviously, it hurt me. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt me. Obviously, sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to make 1 pound move forward, 5 pound moves forward. Do you get what I'm saying? So, in terms of the way they place on the card, like I'm one of the most experienced fighters on their roster, and they're putting me second on the prelim, and then on top of that, they're making me come out first as a home fighter. That don't make sense. Do you get what I'm saying? So that really pissed me off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I said this previously, I'm pissed off in a good way. And me being pissed off in a good way is going to make me perform the way how I performed the first fight. Do you get what I'm saying? So we'll just see how everything plays out. But in my head, in my mind, the way I see how things are going to go, I ain't going to be with K-Draws for too long. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna derail through this bantamweight division. Honestly,
did you take that anger then of being on the undercard, feeling disrespected? Do you think that helped you in the fight? You were like, I'm going to prove K-Draws that I'm such a big asset. I'm bigger than all these people in the bantamweight division, and I deserve to be on like the main card, like main events all the time.
Yeah, kind of. But obviously, I didn't let it play in my mind too much. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like when I first checked into the hotel and I saw like the lineup of like my card and I saw where I was placed, I was just like, what the flip is this, man? Do you know what I mean? Like some bullshit. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, what the flip? How the heck am I second fight on a prelim? Do you know what I mean? That don't make sense to me. It doesn't add up to me. Do you know what I mean? And especially coming out first as the hometown fighter. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's done. I had to kill Cameron Hardy.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the next guy and let's kill the next guy. And that next guy I want is Liam Gittins.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be in the prelims again after that. That's for sure. But
if I'm gonna be in the prelims again, I'm sure there's gonna be a riot somewhere, somehow, some way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. You mentioned then your Bellator career. What did you learn from? Because of course you started off really well with amazing knockout, but then you had those 2 losses by decision. But what did you learn from them? Do you feel like you gained, like you were speaking about earlier, you've been on the big show, you know what it's like? Do you feel like your Bellator experience was actually still a really good positive experience for your career?
You know what? To be honest, obviously with Bellator, I entered with a great debut, and then after my the following 2 fights that I had, I lost. Being with Bellator was a great experience in terms of just seeing how things are like on the world stage kind of thing. Like obviously, the pay scale is obviously a lot more different compared to fighting on the domestic regional scene. Do you know what I mean? Like the pay scale is a lot higher. But I think my time being with Bellator, I think it showed me what I'm where I'm potentially going to be at in the future. Obviously, now my goal is UFC, and obviously, I think it gave the experience gave me a little taste of the money, like what type of money is to come in the near future. Do you get what I'm saying? With me doing things accordingly and performing accordingly and whatnot. Do you get what I'm saying? So I got a little taste with that, and definitely valuable lessons. But obviously, like with the time I was there, the people that I was around, the management I was around, just I'd say I was being mishandled a bit. Do you know what I mean? I was being mishandled a bit by management and just certain people around me. Do you know what I mean? But obviously now, after those 2 losses I had and getting cut from Bellator, it just made me shift and just made me turn that corner. Do you know what I mean? So I moved teams from my old gym, and I had to switch up a lot of things that I was doing within training and outside of training and fighting. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was a hard time for me at the time, but obviously there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I ended up getting to like almost 2 weeks ago, Friday on my Cage Warriors debut, and I feel like now this is the time where I make my run to dominate on obviously on the Cage Warriors stage, and obviously get up to the UFC stage, on the world stage again. Do you know what I mean? On the world stage again.
Yeah.
So so my time being with Bellator and shows like ACB, it just gave me a little taste of how things are going to be like in the near future for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With obviously everything going accordingly.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your management there. Did you just not like the fights you were getting matched up with? Because you did seem to like take quite a lot of fights on time. I know you had some cancelled one as well. But do you mean like the way they organise your fights and who they put you up against? Is that kind of mismanagement?
Look, listen. To be honest with me, look, I can get offered Peter Yan today, and I'll fight him tomorrow. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling. I can get offered them today, and I'll take the fight. Do you know what I mean? Knowing the risks of how difficult the fight may be, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So obviously I'm a game opponent. I don't avoid fights. Do you know what I mean? So wherever I get offered, I take, kind of thing. And the thing is, within my career, I've had a lot of tough fights, hence why my record looks like that. I've had a lot of tough fights, and I took a lot of fights that a lot of people didn't want to take. A lot of fights that a lot of fights didn't want to take. So obviously when you're young and you're just like when you're just young and raw and you're ready to take on any challenge, it's very hard to like hold back and be like, oh, maybe I should wait out for this fight.
Yeah.
And this fight instead of this fight. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with me, I was just like, nah, I want this fight. I always like to shoot for the stars. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta sit back a bit, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And then just build yourself up a bit, and enough to get the fights that you want, kind of thing. So I could say I could say it's myself. Obviously, myself with my certain decisions I made. Obviously, certain decisions that the people around me back then made, and kind of thing. Certain advices I was getting back then. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a mixture of everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't want to be taking any like short notice fights or anything like that now. You don't want to be doing any silly fights. You just want to do ones that's best for your career and your progression. You don't want to feel pressured to do anything.
As what I felt at the time. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I don't regret taking any of those fights. Do you know what I mean? It going through adversity like that makes you a stronger fighter. Do you know what I mean? And gives you a wealth of experience and knowledge going into your future fights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't take anything back, looking back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. You fought at featherweight quite a lot in your career as well as bantamweight, but in cage wars, is it just a case of I don't want to mess around with the featherweight division. I want to just win the bantamweight belt and get to the UFC as quick as possible. I don't want to mess about with like 2 belts or anything like that in cage wars. It's just bantamweight to the UFC.
Yeah, really and truly, yeah, for me it's bantamweight. I fought at featherweight in my pro career 3 times. 3 times. So 3 times out of the 11 fights I've had in my pro career. That's quite a lot for a natural bantamweight. Maybe I shouldn't have took some of these featherweight fights, but listen, I'm a good size. I'm a very good size bantamweight. Like I'm even bigger than some of these other bantamweights. You know what I mean? And going into featherweight, I'm an all right size featherweight. Do you know what I mean? Honestly speaking, obviously 135 is my natural weight class. And you won't be seeing me go up to 145 anytime soon. Do you know what I mean? So 135 is my natural weight class, and this is where I'm going to stay, and this is where I'm going to be within cage roars, and when I do get signed to the UFC.
Yeah, got it. Is it right that you started your amateur career at 15?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's been so long, I can't remember. 15, 16, I can't remember, man.
Yeah.
To be honest, but yeah, I'm not even 25 yet. I'm 25
crazy.
next month. And to be honest, I've been around a lot within this game. I'm a young vet, to honestly speaking. I've been around and I've seen quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? Within this game. So yeah, so obviously there, as you can see, I've got a lot of experience when it comes to, do you know what I mean? I'm nearly coming up to 30 fights. Do you know what I mean? So all together with amateur and pro. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've had quite a few fights, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. How much experience did you have going into those first amateur fights, and like how old were the people you were fighting against in those amateur fights?
Yeah, back then a lot of people were older than me. I was fighting guys that were twice my age. Do you know what I mean? Because back then it was like, if you was like 15 or 16, like it would be hard to like get on certain shows because they wouldn't allow you to fight because of your age. So sometimes you would have to lie your age to fight and whatnot. Do you get what I'm saying? So I've been fighting guys twice my age since 15, 16. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a norm to me right now. Obviously, when I got in the game, I was around a lot of older people, kind of thing. So obviously, I kind of had to grow up kind of fast. Do you know what I mean? Because I was around a lot of older people. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, when you're around a lot of older people, when you're young ahead, you look up to these guys. Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna listen or do whatever they tell you to do, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, as you grow up and you come into you become your own man. You start seeing things and going through different experiences, and then you can make your own decisions within whatever you're doing, kind of thing, within your career, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. So since I started, I have seen a lot, and I've gained a lot of experience through fights. within this game.
Yeah. For the lead up to your last fight at Cage Warriors 124, I noticed you have a YouTube channel and you put your own kind of UFC embedded videos up on there. I was just wondering, what was your inspiration for that? Did your mate tell you to do it or something? Or was that your idea? Because they're quite well produced videos. I think they're quite good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I literally just started up a new YouTube channel. So my brother, he does he does like photography and videography as well. So I just thought to myself, you know what, I might as well just do like vlogs and stuff. So then I got him on board and I told him like, oh, we should do this. And he was just like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's see where it goes, kind of thing. And to be honest, we've got 4 episodes up on the channel right now. And to be honest, it's actually gotten some really good feedback. And the thing is, there's more content to come. So it should be good, yeah. Because normally, like my brother, throughout the years, my brother used to take like photos of me within training and just document my training and stuff through taking pictures and doing some videos as well. But obviously this time around, now I feel like it's the right time for me to start doing things like that kind of thing. Just letting like supporters like know what I get up to and just see how I train and stuff like that. Because obviously a lot of people, they like to see a lot of supporters and fans, they like to see how fighters get on along in their normal day-to-day life kind of thing, how they get on in training. And the thing is, it's like with us fighters, a lot of people think like as we're fighters, we're just stuck in a cave and just training and just beating each other up. That's not the case. I mean, we're normal human beings that are just chasing our dreams within the fight business. You get what I'm saying? Whether it's MMA or boxing, do you know what I mean? So it's good to let supporters have a little insight of what I get up to. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I find it really interesting to be able to look into a fighter's camera as close as that, because you did give a lot of insight into it. But are you going to try and make any other content, or is it just mostly going to be these lead up to a fight ones? So have you got any other ideas for what you might want to do with it?
Yeah, there'll still be lead up to fights and stuff like that. And also I told him I'd like to get some stuff like just normal day-to-day things. It don't have to be training. Like, you know what I mean? Like it could just be me, me, let's just say, for example, me going to do shopping, for example, with the missus or some crap. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Little just things like that, just to let supporters see like what I'm getting up to, so they can see I'm a normal human being. I'm not just a fighter. I'm not just a fighter. I'm not in the gym 24 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? So so we do plan to put in more content within that channel, because the channel's just started. I literally just made it about like 3.5 weeks ago. So and the content we pushed out there for leading up to the last fight was actually okay, to be honest. It was okay, like for our first time trying it. Do you know what I mean? Even myself, I'm new to all of this YouTube stuff. I don't really understand it too well. So obviously my management is helping me out with that as well. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see where we get with that. Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I've got for you today, Dominique. But do you want to plug that YouTube channel real quick and any sponsors you have as well, just to let people know?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to all my teammates, my gym, GB Top Team, my management, Paradigm Sports Management. You can follow me on my Instagram at Real D Woodin. Same thing on my Twitter at Real D Woodin. My Facebook athlete page, Dominique Woodin. You know, for my YouTube channel, I'm just in the process of changing up my URL. So I need to get at least 100 subscribers. So right now I've got about over 60. I need to get 100 subscribers to be able to change my URL. So I can't really give you a URL because it's all like mixed up in codes and stuff.
Yeah.
But you can go on my YouTube channel. It's called Black Panther Woodin.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a URL, I would have gave it to you, but I've got a random URL, so I need to get that sorted out.
Yeah. Well, let's get you 40 more subscribers and we can get that done then, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. Well, mate, I hope to see you fight Liam Gittins soon. Like, I would love to see that fight. I hope it happens for you.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.